15. But the Lord said unto him, Go thy way, for he is a chosen vessel for me to bear by my name before the Gentiles and the kings and the children of Israel. For I will show him how great things must be suffered for my name's sake. I'd like to begin by giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Akakwadash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Akakwadash. Double honor be unto the apostles of great millstone and road well. Blessed citation to the men that push this word also in sincerity and in truth. And to the sisters that listen, right, and learn. Say shalom. Shalom to the hope for the elect. Right, and basically this could be the third time I'm actually doing this video. I did this video like early yesterday evening, after 3. And the both times the audio was actually off. And then coming to see Apostle Larry, I will actually doing a video concerning the Gentiles. This video could be based off of understanding the context of reading the scriptures when the word Gentile pops up. Because we had to understand what the word Gentile mean and what context. We read it as Apostle Larry, and obviously had to understand the context of what it mean, passage. So now in this passage here, it's actually speaking about Saul before he was Paul. So I'll just read from on top. I'll read from 1 here. It says, And Saul, yet breathing out threatenings and slaughter against the disciples of the Lord, went unto the high priest and desired to him of him letters of Damascus on the synagogues, that if he be found any of this way, whether they were men or women, he might bring them bound unto Jerusalem. And as he journeyed, he came near Damascus, and suddenly there shined round about him a light from heaven. And he fell on the earth, and heard a voice saying unto him, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? And he said, Who art thou, Lord? And he said, and the Lord said, I am Yahweh Shai, whom thou persecutest. It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. And he trembled and astonished. And he trembled, and he trembling and astonished said, Lord, what wilt thou have me to do? And the Lord said unto him, Arise and go into the city, and it shall be told thee what thou must do. And the man which journeyed with him stood speechless, hearing a voice, but seeing no man. And Saul arose from the earth, and when his eyes were open, he saw no man, but they led him by the hand and brought him into Damascus. And he was 3 days without sight, neither did he eat nor drink. And there was a certain disciple at Damascus named Ananias. And to him said the Lord in a vision, Ananias. And he said, Behold, I am here, Lord. And the Lord said unto him, Arise and go into the streets, which is called Straight, and inquire in the house of Judas for one called Saul of Tarsus. For behold, he prayed, and had seen in a vision a man named Ananias coming in, and putting his hands on him, that he might receive his sight. And Ananias answered, Lord, I have heard by many of this man how much evil he had done to thy saints at Jerusalem. And here he had authority from the chief priests to bind all that call on thy name right? All that call on thy name. The name is an importance, right? Because that name is what we're going to be calling on in the last days, right? And this is exactly what's going to happen to us in that time to come, right? These men will be, the authorities going to bind us up also for calling on that name, for also teaching that name, right? You see, they were saying these are those men who was prophesying this name. Verse 15, it says, but the Lord said unto him, Go thy way, for he is a chosen vessel unto me, to bear my name before the Gentiles and kings and the children of Israel. Right? And the key point is to bear my name before the Gentiles. Right? So in this passage, you have to understand the context of this passage here. Right? This context, this speaking about the Israelite foreigners, right? Because there are two classifications of Gentiles, right? They are the Gentiles, which are the other nations, right? Which is what you can read in the book of Galatians, not Galatians, sorry, Psalms 83. You know, it gave the whole list of these other nations, you know, they're speaking about the heathen nation, right? That the first type of Gentile, the Edomites, the Moabites, right? The Canaan, however the case might be, these are the heathen, right? Any nation other than the Israelites, they are considered the heathen. You understand? And their next classification, which is the Israelite foreigners, right? They are Israelite foreign because they are foreign from their nationality, right? They don't know their nationality, right? They left out their nationality, they left out their customs, for a better term, right? They didn't know who they is. So that's why the Apostle Paul, you know, sent his disciples to certain places to go onto the lost tribe of Israel, right? Because they were considered what? Gentile. You know that? Get the scripture here, Ephesians chapter 2 and I think it's 11. It says, Therefore remember that ye, being in time past Gentiles in the flesh. Why they were called Gentiles in the flesh? Right? Because they were living like Gentiles. Right? They were living like Gentiles in the flesh. They say, who are called uncircumcised. Who were called uncircumcised? The ones who, the heathens, right? The heathens, they were the ones who were called uncircumcised. Right? They were considered as dogs. You understand? It says, Wherefore remember that ye being in time past, Gentiles, right, living like the other nations, following the customs of the other nations, in the flesh, who are called uncircumcised, right? It's speaking about the other nation. They are called uncircumcised. If I will get that in the uncircumcised, what does that scripture say about uncircumcised let's see if I could find something really quick. And David speak and take away, let me see, reproach from Israel For who is the uncircumcised Palestine that he should Right. I could read this. This one, 1 Samuel chapter 31 and 4. It says, Then said Saul unto the armor bearer, Draw thy sword and trust me true therewith, lest these uncircumcised come and trust me true and abuse me. You understand? These uncircumcised were considered what? The other nation. Why? Right? Because circumcision was a covenant the Lord made with his chosen. Right? It was made with his chosen, which was what? Abraham. Right? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, it trickled along to the 12 tribes. Right? So it was like a by us saying the uncircumcised speaking about heathens, speaking about these heathens. You understand? You see? So it says, who are called uncircumcised by that which is called circumcised, which is us in the flesh, made by hands. Right? So we were in past, we were called called Gentiles. Right? We were found like we was a heathen. Right? Because when you look up the word Gentile, it also goes back to heathen. Alright? Right? So over 15 it says, But the Lord said unto him, Go thy way, for he is a chosen vessel unto me, to bear my name before the Gentiles and the kings and the children of Israel. So this Gentile was speaking about the Israelite foreigners. You know, and I want to get a scripture in First Maccabees. And even before I get that, the book of Malachi, one and 14, it says, But cursed be the deceiver which had in his flock a male, and vowed and sanctified unto Yahweh, unto the Lord the Most High, a corrupt thing. For I am a great king, saith Yahweh of hosts, and my name is dreadful among the heathens. Right? So the Lord's name is dreadful among the heathen nation. Right? So this wasn't speaking about the other nations. This was speaking about Israelite foreigners. Right? So let me get that in Malachi, in what I say? First Maccabees chapter 1 and what? One and 7. It says, And so Alexander reigned 12 years and then died, and his servants bear rule every man in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. Right? So Alexander, basically, first of all, is Alexander the Great. Right? This is history. Right? And his servants were the 4 generals. Right? And after, which is Ptolemy, Lasamachus, Cassander, and St. Lucius, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Right? It says, And after this, his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them. Many years and evils were multiplied in the earth. And they came out Salak, came out of them a wicked root, and Antiochus, surname Epiphanes, right? Which Epiphanes means revelation or reveal, son of Antiochus, the king who had been in hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 130th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. In those days, there went out Israelites, right? Listen, wicked men who persuaded many, saying, "Let us go and make a covenant with the heathens," right? With the heathens that are round about us. So I wonder if I get this in the next version. We go see First Maccabees 1 and 11. If we go say Gentile. Yeah, look at that. First Maccabees 1 and 11 says, in those days, certain renegades came out of Israel and misled many, saying, "Let us go and make a covenant with the Gentile." Right? So this Gentile can be speaking about the Israelites. Right? So this is a clear scripture here. Right? It can be speaking about Israelite because it says in those days certain renegades, right, came out of Israel and misled many, saying, "Let us go and make a covenant with the Gentiles round about around us, for since we separated from them, many disasters have come upon us." This proposal pleased them, and some of the people eagerly went to the king, who authorized them to observe the ordinances of the Gentiles. Right? So they built a gymnasium in Jerusalem according to the Gentiles' customs, which is the Greeks. Right? Go back to all these Colosseum and all these bread and circus, in other words, too. Alright? It says, and they moved the mark of the circumcision, which is what? The covenant, and abandoned the holy covenant. You see? Abandoned the holy covenant. They joined with the Gentiles, which is the heathens. Psalms 83, the heathen nation, and sold themselves to do evil. Right? They sold themselves to do evil. Right? So the word heathen and the word Gentiles go hand in hand, means the same thing. Alright? So that's is the context when you're reading the scriptures. You have to understand the context in what you read. You understand? Luke 2. Right? And verse. Let me get to the point. I must see. Yeah, but I'm bad making a noise, boy. Yeah, I'll get to the point. Yes, Luke 2 and 31. It says, Luke 2 and 30. Luke 2 and 28. Then took he him up in his arms and blessed God and said, Lord, now lettest thou thy servant depart in peace according to thy word. For my eyes have seen thy salvation, which thou hast prepared before the face of all people, a light to lighten the Gentiles, and the glory of thy people Israel. Right? This was speaking about what? This speak about the Israelite foreigners. Alright? This speaking about the Israelite foreigners because the scriptures talk about that light. Right? Matthew chapter 4 and verse 4. No, not so far. 16, right? Yeah, Matthew 4 and 16. It says, the people which sat in darkness saw great light. And to them which sat in the region in the region and shadow of death, light is sprung up. That light speaking about Yahushua. Alright? So it says, a light to lighten the Gentiles and the glory of thy people Israel. Right? So this light was speaking about the light, this Gentile, was speaking about the nation of Israel, the Israelite foreigners, as we read in the book of 1 Maccabees chapter 1. You understand it? So we have to understand the context of the scriptures in order for us to understand what Gentiles they are speaking about. You know, they actually put that confusion in it to mix up, you know, the masses, the people, right? But scriptures say, God, and I'm talking over the way. I think is a rock of offense, I believe. Yeah, Isaiah 8 and 13. And birds and them sensing something coming, but first time I hear them bawling, so Isaiah 8 and 13, it says, sanctify Yahweh of hosts himself, and let him be your fear, and let him be your dread. And he shall be a sanctuary, but for a stone of stumbling, and of a rock of offense, to bow the house of the Israel, a gin, and for a snare to the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And many among them shall stumble and fall, and be broken, and be a snare, and be taken. Right? And that is it. That is it. And that is what's going on right now. Many people don't understand the context of the Bible, right? When they speak about the Gentiles. And, you know, we as Israelites, we as men of the Lord, you know, great millstone beginning with the apostles who taught us, you know, we understand it through the Spirit, you know. We understand it through the Spirit, you know, because the Lord gave us those teachers to teach us the understanding of His word, you know, and Tawara Yahweh Hashem Yashai for that. You know, because we will be like these Christians lost, the Gentiles. You see, anybody could come in. You know, it's not about that. You know, so we understand the text of the scriptures. You know, Luke 21 and 23 says, but woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. For there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon his people, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captives into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Right? So let me see if I can get this in the next version, Luke 21 and 24. And see what it will say. And they will fall by the edge of the sword, and be taken away as captives among all nations, and Jerusalem will be trampled on by the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Alright, well, they didn't give me what I'm looking for. I'm gonna see if I could use the next version here. Because we know this speaking about the Romans, right? This was in the time of the siege, right? So we know this speaking about the Romans, but this one time. See if I could one of them saying Gentiles. And they will take my people, and they will cause them to leave the country. They will live in many other countries, and they will not be free to return to this country. People that are not Jews will destroy Jerusalem. They will rule. Right? I was more or less looking for the word heathen. Non-Jews, okay. Gentile. Right, and it look not only strong, it says Gentile, heathen nation, people. Right, just to clarify what it means, it goes back to the word ethnos, which means a heathen. Right? Right? So it says, all nations and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, which was the Romans, until the time of the Romans be fulfilled. Right? So that's what he was speaking about. This was speaking about the heathens, the other nations. Right? That's what this was speaking about. So hopefully this video was edifying. Hopefully it bring clarification. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Blessing citation to the men that push this word in sincerity and in truth. But how about from James General saying Shalom? To the elect